Oh, there's June. Fabulous. All right, it's, yeah, why don't you have a seat over there? That's good.
Hello.
And there is some tea over there. You can help yourself for tea and cookies. Yeah, hibiscus and ginger tea. Yeah. Okay, we are going to get started in a minute.
Thank you.
Either smart.
Are you reading, Linda?
I'm listening. Oh yeah.
All right, we're going to get started. Welcome to our May Day Lay celebration and Indra's Net celebration. We're so excited. This is, I think, the third time that we've done this, and I'm so happy the people online are also joining us from Massachusetts, Colorado, Wisconsin. There's my cousin from San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Allison, and I know one more Allison is joining from Toronto. So, I just want to start with everybody being comfortable. I know you've got something in your hands, some of you, but let's just kind of sit in our chairs and get present here. Just notice your feet on the floor, your seat. You might soften your eyes if you're gazing somewhere. Take a slow breath in and let it go. One more breath. And let it go. And one more. So there is an image from the Avatamsaka Sutra, Indra's net, an infinite web stretching in every direction. And at every node, there's a jewel, and each jewel reflects all the other jewels. The first time I heard the story was from Bernie Glassman. So I think of him now. So imagine yourselves, you are each a jewel, and the people around you are also jewels. And like flowers, the leis that we're wearing, we're all connected, and we're just holding the space and each other here. So with that, I'm going to ask Lumi and Senshin to begin. And I'm going to pin you, because we are taping this. I'm going to pin you. Okay, and why don't you introduce what you're going to do? Lumi and Senshin from Colorado, please introduce yourselves too.
Good evening, everyone. It's really wonderful to be here with everybody, immersed in Indra's net, with Kumu June and Joshin and this wonderful sangha. I'm going to be playing an indigenous double flute, and Jessen's going to be playing an indigenous drum, frame drum. And I think it's a very auspicious day today, because it's not only Lay Day, but it's Bialtain and the full flower moon all at once. So we're gonna offer vibrations that go out in all directions.
right, we're gonna move this and we're gonna here. Beautiful. All right, we are going to do a hula now, a million moons. So get set up here. And I wrote a little something about this beautiful hula. So it's your...
June, I'm doing the pinning from here.
You're doing the what?
Pinning. It has to be done from this computer.
The pinning.
The pinning. I'm pinning you.
Okay.
It has to be done from here.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
So, hula makes, let's see, we might need to have, oh, I guess that's all right. We might need to have, we just made it, all right. Hula makes the impossible possible. Trade winds, the Pacific, the fragrance of invisible flowers, mountains and valleys, all of it lives in my body. Even here in Chicago, 4,250 miles from Hilo, where whenever I hula, I embody Hawaii. My feet are fortunate to have walked the Aina, and if I grow still enough, wherever I am, I feel it. The undulation of waves and trade winds, the never-ending lushness of forest and garden. Silvery moonlight over the vast Pacific, the sweet ala onauna of Puakenikeni and Plumeria. People may not understand Hawaiian words or even the movement, but feelings are undeniable. They transmit body to body, mind to mind, immediate understanding, prajna wisdom, love expressed through perseverance, joy, focus, and dedication, the generous, respectful, loving heart of aloha. When I hula, my heart opens, and I find it can hold more than everything. In my Zen practice, I let go of the ego, the small self, the incessant thoughts with each out-breath. When ego is in charge, I cannot truly feel or understand anything beyond myself. So hula teaches the same release, to be so fully in the story, in the place, that the small self disappears, and the place speaks to you through all your senses in ways that have no words. What does Hawaii look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What is its essence? Can we bear witness? The rich colors, the sounds of birds and the wind in trees, humidity and sun on skin, full immersion into the cool, salty Pacific. Loyal Garner knows this feeling. In A Million Moons Over Hawaii, she gives us the islands after dark, luminous, vast, unhurried, a million moons, an endless garden where every flower holds the face of someone you love, eyes that doubt, and yet a heart that always sees. That is aloha. That is what lives in the body and in this room right now. So, dear friends, we present A Million Moons, sung by Hawaii's Lady of Love, Loyal Garner.
This is a very different tone than what you just saw. This is a short story I wrote called Found and Lost. After whining throughout the worst winter ever in Chicago, I was thrilled when the temps hit the 70s on a Sunday in May. I uncovered the furniture on my patio, cleaned the table, and wiped down the chairs. Then I rested and nursed a cup of dark coffee, munched on a bagel with cream cheese, and read the newspaper. Sparrows and cardinals visited the feeder. 2 mourning doves posed on the fence top, and a nearby locust tree glowed with new leaves the color of limeade. Totally relaxed, I let go of my worries, especially about money. 6 months ago, I started my own business, and even though I've been a successful graphic designer for 20 years, it's been harder to be on my own than I thought it would be. I'm just scraping by. It's been intense to see my savings dwindle. The patio looked so good, I decided to also clean the garbage dumped in my hedges, lining the sidewalk. Totally disgusting, I thought, looking at the pile I collected. A plastic bag, a greasy McDonald's carton half filled with fries, a stained coffee cup, and a bulging paper bag. I carried all of it into my house to toss. The paper bag was heavy. Curious, I opened it and froze. Money. Lots of money. I raced back to the patio and looked around. The street was empty. I dumped the bag on the dining table and counted it 3 times. $20,000. Holy crap. Where did it come from? Who left it and when? Won't someone be looking for it? I didn't know what to do or who to call. Definitely not my family members, too greedy. I texted my best friend, Becky, who is always calm. Can you come over ASAP? I need you. Be right there, she texted back. Holy shit, she said after she saw the money. Wow, now you can junk your car. Get a new one. Take a trip to Europe, maybe even Africa. Thank God, right? I said. Yes, Becky said, and high-fived me. Where do you think it came from, I asked. Some drunk, probably. What was he doing with a bag full of money? Yesterday was the Kentucky Derby. Maybe he won it at an OTB. Celebrated too much and dropped it. But what if it's drug money? Gang members or the mafia might come looking for it. Not likely. Just wait before you spend it. Becky is always optimistic. But I couldn't sleep that night. I live alone and every tiny creak terrified me. I had to get the money out of my house. First thing in the morning, I stuffed it into a backpack, drove to the bank, rented a safety deposit box, and locked it up. I vowed I wouldn't touch it for 3 months. Then I immediately adopted a mutt from an animal shelter. I named him Samson and called him Sammy. He wasn't much of a threat at 20 pounds, but he had sharp teeth and a loud, persistent bark. Here's the deal, I told him. You protect me from the bad guys, and I'll give you food, shelter, and lots of treats. Sammy cocked his ears and gave me a dog smile. He'll definitely be worth the extra expense if I can sleep at night. Sammy barked whenever the doorbell rang. He also barked at squirrels, birds, the mailman, the telephone, and anything that moved. I felt safe and okay now about the money. $20,000 will make a huge difference. My elation lasted 4 days, and then I crashed. I kept picturing ruthless guys coming for it, and for me. You should tell the police, it might be counterfeit. The bills are probably marked, my buddy James said after I confided in him. No way, they'd just keep it, I said. I never go to church, but I decided to meet with a priest. He hinted I could donate it to his church. Listen to your conscience and pray for guidance, he advised. Great. My anxiety escalated. I avoided eye contact with teenagers wearing lowriders in case they were gang members, and I altered how I dressed. What's with the hoodie? It's 80 degrees. Aren't you dying? Becky asked on a walk. Nope, I'm comfortable, I said as I hid my face. I had no idea what boogies looked like, but watched the street for hours from my second floor windows, wary of strangers. On another walk, Becky asked, going incognito with the hat and the sunglasses? Looks like you bought them at Goodwill. On sale, I might add. They were a great buy, $2, I said, as I slouched next to her trying to disappear. Come on, let's go to Pablo's for fish tacos. You never want to eat out anymore, Becky said. I'm watching my weight, I lied. I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at home, stopped going to movies, and cut back on lattes. I didn't want anyone to think I had lots of money. By the 4th week, I never left the house, except to walk Sammy. James called, Becky said. He wants to know why you don't answer your phone anymore. You never know who it might be, I said. You have caller ID. You can't be too careful. You're getting weird. You know that, don't you? I considered it a rhetorical question. I had a stomach ache now, every day. I thought having more money would be great, but I was far from okay. One day, Becky came over unannounced and said, "You're in trouble. You're having a breakdown over this damn money." What's this, an intervention? I asked, forcing a laugh as I huddled in a chair. The blinds were closed and the room dark, even though it was a spectacular sunny day. You've lost weight. You're pale. You look exhausted. Some hoods might as well have beaten you up. What's your problem? I was happier when I had less money, I said, starting to sob. Money, guaranteed to drive humans crazy, just like sex, said Becky. You've got to do something about this. She was right. Clearly, I wasn't entirely sane. The next afternoon, after a trip to my safety deposit box, I took Sammy to his favorite park. We walked the oval path several times, and then I sat on a bench and slipped off my backpack. Sammy checked out the dogs, while I watched elderly people dozing on benches, kids kicking soccer balls, and teenagers kissing in between smoking cigarettes. I shoved the backpack under the bench, waited a few minutes, and then Sammy and I walked away. I was almost out of the park when I heard someone say, "Excuse me, miss." I turned around and a young girl held my backpack out to me. "You forgot this," she said with a Girl Scout grin. I sighed, thanked her, and took it back. The next day at the same park, a 20-something runner spied the backpack, sprinted to catch up with me, and handed it back. "Do people have to be so damned honest?" I groused. On the third day, I returned to the park in the early morning, hoping it would be empty. Only one man was present, sleeping on a bench, his head resting on a bulging black plastic bag. I left the knapsack under a bench at the opposite end of the park from him. As Sammy and I passed him on our way out, he opened one eye, lifted his head, and said, "Lady, you got any money?" "No, sorry," I said. But as we headed home, I couldn't stop smiling and thinking, thank God.
Thank you, Robin. All right, now we're going to go to Ara and in Massachusetts. Everybody here, you can make your chair so you can see the screen here. And let's remove this pin. Okay, there we go. And we'll see Ara. And Ara, you can introduce yourselves, friend of Ara from Massachusetts.
I'm really happy to be here. I'm honored to be here tonight. And about a little over 10 years ago, I performed a piece that became the title of this book, which is called Slow Dancing is Easy, at the Zen Center of Chicago. And these scripts.
That was really fun with a purple dress and Peter taking photographs. It was wonderful.
Well, those scripts that had been performed on the stage jumped into this book. And when I thought about what to do this evening, I thought I would like to read to you from a piece called The Invisible Circus of the Present Tense that was written during COVID. And I've been known to play a character that I made up called the Ghost of P.T. Barnum. And in this piece, there are a series of rules for the circus that he thought might help us with the chaos of today. So I'm going to read excerpts from that tonight. But first, I'm going to introduce PT to you. Allow me to introduce myself to you. I'm me. Oh, also known as the Ghost of P.T. Barnum. That 19th century circus impresario bizarre at your service. Oh, I can see you, but you can't see me. Oh, not yet. Wait, watch carefully while I emerge from a puff of my own cigar smoke. Ta-da! A hoax? A humbug? Oh, it's so great to be back here on Earth with you because, you know, heaven is a no smoking zone. And on top of that, it's a no lying zone. At first, I hated that even more than the no smoking. Let's begin again. Come one, come all, to P.T. Barnum's invisible circus of the present tense. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll have no idea how to fly. But trust, not fear. That is the true art of the showman. So I, P.T., have decided that I would read to you tonight some excerpts from the rules of the circus. Rule number 1. The circus has rules. Everyone was welcome under my tent. Everyone was safe under my tent. I didn't think the audience was stupid, susceptible to lies, easily fooled by a good humbug, but not stupid. The circus is not ruled by divide and conquer. Rule number 2, the underpinning of magic is truth. To create magic, to discover the timing of the impossible, circus folks seek truth, the science of flying through the air, the rigors of illusion. Their lives depend on it. The lion tamer puts his head in the lion's mouth just for you. And why? So you can practice courage. Rule number 3. When the workers thrive, the circus survives. I know. The ringmaster makes more than the lion tamer, who makes more than the bareback rider, who makes more than the organ grinder, who makes more than the sanitation crew, who makes more than the seamstresses. But every worker knows they are essential and can live on the earnings of one job they get respect for, and still hold on to the dream of becoming ringmaster rich, a star of the trapeze, or a strong man chained to a chair on a sideshow. Together, we walk the tightrope of our lives. Together, we thrive and survive. The circus respects the laws of balance. You know, that act that flips the teacups on top of each other up and up and up and up and up until the stack goes up so high, and then bang, the whole shebang falls down. And we gasp in disappointment and delight. Why? Because we have watched the accumulation of the excess rebalance. The top-heavy topples. The circus respects the laws of gravity. A blank page, a broken heart. The blank page of a broken heart asks for poetry. Rule number 4, more poetry, less profiteering. Hope is the thing with feathers. The poet Emily Dickinson wrote that during my century. You know, she hardly ever left her bedroom. If I'd been able to get her to come out of that damn house and join the circus, I could have made her a star. Instead, I sold Jenny Lind, the Swedish nightingale, as a high-class bird for the masses. How'd you like them feathers? I still think of poet Emily Dickinson as the muse of our solitudes. To me, she will always be a ringmaster of the imagination. One room, one pen, one poet. A 3-ring circus of hope in one feather. Oh, Emily. Rule number 5. There is no show without an audience. Here's a golden rule conundrum. You are in my show as much as I am in your show. I'm watching you, bearing witness to your struggles. I grow in empathy As you create a scene, deny a scene, create science, deny science, create history, deny history, create equality, deny equality, create love, deny love, create peace, deny peace, create racism, deny racism, create cruelty, deny cruelty, create compassion, deny compassion, create war, deny war, create extinction, deny extinction. As you mourn, as you lie, I laugh, I cry. You could be me. I could be you. It's true. Do something different in this show. Surprise me. Make a better ending. Better yet, make a new beginning. Rule number 6. Put your amygdala brain in a cage. Put your lizard brain, your lying, unfettered rage in a cage. Who will you be in the context of your history? What will you be proud of 7 generations from now? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to take action. Rule number 7, the golden rule. There is no other. We are each other. Have you seen the crowds? Millions of broken hearts, ringmasters all, pour into the streets and find the courage to say what they see. The invisible circus of the present tense plays 24 hours a day. It is never sold out. Step right up. Begin again. Dare I hope?
Thank you, Ara. Wonderful. The ghost of P.T. Barnum. All right, thank you. All right. And Peter. All right, next we have Mark Gelula. All right, so if you would pull up a chair for Mark, someone, a chair. I'm going to get this here. We're going to move this to this.
This way.
Yes, a little bit more. Yes, we'll hide that thing behind your shoulder.
Right, that thing behind my shoulders, the other head in the room. Hi. And aloha. So I'm going to read 2 pieces of flash fiction. Flash fiction is very short fiction. I think this is, the way I write, it's the absolute form of not knowing. I sit down and I write and I kind of enter into the story as the story appears. So I've been following someone for a couple of years called Mary G. I don't know what G is. Mary is on Substack. And each week she gives us a prompt. And each of these came from a prompt. The first one, I'm going to read you the prompt first. Write a story that starts in the middle of things. Launch right in. Put us in the scene. Don't beat around the bush. Get your reader wondering what's going to happen. This is called The Hole. The hole in the backyard had been there when they moved in. Within days, they woke to find the hole noticeably larger. Little Sammy, 6 years old, kept staring at it as if he could fathom its depths. There was no question that it was large, but deep as well. It was Sammy who first noticed that it was growing more round. And as the shape formed, he saw the entire circumference was enlarging. He also noticed most carefully, because he didn't want to fall in, that it was getting deeper. A week after they moved in, the family awoke to find the entire backyard had been taken over by the hole. Sammy's older sister, Sarah, had to be careful each morning as she stepped out to empty the trash. The hole had just about reached the back stoop. Sheila told her to be careful. But one day, as she was emptying the trash, Sarah just simply disappeared into the hole. So deep was it that no sound could be heard as she fell. In this not overly bright family, Sammy seemed sharpest. He took this event for what it was and never again used the back door. In fact, he flatly refused to empty the trash. Other than the problem of emptying the trash, no one seemed fazed at all by Sarah's absence. One evening, she went to bed. The next morning, she was gone. Sarah wasn't the only one the hole took. Sheldon, their Doberman Chihuahua mix, succumbed to the hole's siren call one day as he was nosing around. Sheila told her husband, Sidney, that she thought she'd heard Sheldon bark. Looking out the back window, she thought she had seen something swiftly grab Sheldon by his collar and drag him in. All this time, the hole was growing, and the house was beginning to tilt slightly with the underlying foundation now being undermined. But no matter, overall, Sidney thought the house was safe. Solid as a rock, he commented to Sheila and Sammy over breakfast the morning that it finally happened. Sammy was at school. Sheila was at work at the Publix. Sidney was working at home as he usually did, settled in his second-story office. Sidney noticed a slight rumbling. Looking up, he could only see darkness. Unfazed, he stood to turn on the lights and fell right into the hall bathroom, which was now the floor. When Sheila and Sammy came home, they were surprised to find no house. First staring at each other, and then into the hole, they suddenly felt the need to grasp each other, and in that quick motion found themselves hurtling into the hole's depths. Neighbors wondered what happened to the Steelies, little Sammy, Sarah, Sheila, Sidney, and their dog Sheldon. Some mentioned hearing an occasional belch-like sound emanating from the hole, and a long, contented sigh. Thank you. You laughed more than I did. Okay, this second one is significantly shorter. This actually was a very recent prompt. The prompt was simply The Man Who. This story is titled The Man Who Met God in a Bar. 11:45 at Welcome Home was just the place to be. Friggin' late shift. Don had made it there before me, had ordered our shot and a beer. I heaved through the door and sat beside him. Clancy sat on my other side, murmuring. Nothing new there except he was saying, God, don't say that, God. How do you know? Oh, God, no. It seemed strange, even for Clancy. I nudged Don and said, Clancy's talking to himself. Don leaned forward and around me, resting his elbows on the bar. Hey, Clancy, what's up? Wife had it in for you again. Clancy looked up. Tears flowed, and a smile lit his face. I shot, what the hell? You're crying and smiling at the same time? Clancy was his stolid self. What the hell yourselves? You fuckers, you're interrupting my conversation with God. Now, Clancy wasn't a sharp blade on a knife, and he wasn't always on time, if you know what I mean. But he wasn't nuts or anything like that. Nothing strange or weird about the guy. I'd known him for years, and now he's talking to God? I shot a look at Don, who was already eyeballing me. Excuse me. Who was already eyeballing me. Hey, Clancy, how about another shot? No way. God doesn't drink, and besides, he still has to tell me how it all ends.
Mark and Jimmy, you're next.
hands are busy, so I think this is good. Yeah, I think so. Hi everyone. My name is Jimmy, and this song, I think many of you will recognize it. I knew it for many years when I was young because my family grew up singing and listening to a lot of American folk music. Some of you might be familiar with Pete Seeger and the like. And this text is actually from Ecclesiastes from the Bible, but I didn't hear it again for many years until I was well into my meditation practice, and I'd kind of forgotten its origins. And I was like, wow, that text is actually very Buddhist. And in those moments, it's always nice to remember that. I find it really nice to remember that all these different traditions around the world, we're all just trying to make sense of the same thing. And if you know the refrain of this song, please feel free to sing with me. Even if you're like, I'm not a singer. Sing. It's nice. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. I'm going to move this in front of me so I can see you all. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time that kills, a time to heal, a time to love, a time to weep. Sing with me, people. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away the stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. It is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to solve, a time for love, a time that hits, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn,
Oscar. Oscar is going to recite some poetry in Spanish. Yes.
No, I don't. I will. Okay. Okay, I'm Oscar Linares. June asked me to get some poetry in Spanish, and I decided to choose something really short that my auntie used to recite every time there was a party. She never knew where it came from, but eventually I found out. And it's a small poem from a Mexican writer or poet who wrote it in 1905. I'm going to first say it in Spanish, and then I will translate it just to make some sense of it. Okay? His name is Metamorfosis. Era un cautivo beso enamorado de una mano de nieve que tenía la apariencia de un lirio desmayado y el palpitar de un ave en agonía. Y sucedió que un día aquella mano suave de palidez de un lirio, de palpitar de un ave, se acercó tanto a la prisión del beso que ya no pudo más el pobre preso y se escapó. Voló la mano en el confín lejano y el beso que volaba tras la mano, rompiendo el aire, se volvió un suspiro. Ese es el poema. That's the poem. To make sense, I'm going to read it again in English. It may not sound the same, may not sound as nice, but it would probably be understandable. Okay. It was a captive kiss in love with a hand of snow that had the appearance of a fainted lily and the throbbing of a bird in agony. And it happened that one day that soft hand of pallor of a lily, of throbbing of a bird, came so close to the prison of the kiss that the poor prisoner could no longer escape. The hand flew in the distant end, and the kiss that flew behind the hand, breaking the air, became a sigh. That's it. The poet, his name is Luis Urbina from Mexico.
What was the title?
And now we are going to continue the theme on Mexico and do a dance that was in honor of the Mexican cowboys who came to Hawaii to help. To help the Hawaiians learn about being a cowboy, because they got these huge cattle, longhorn cattle that had like 6 foot long horns, and they were multiplying and becoming kind of a public menace here. So, and let's have 2 rows for the, and so the Mexicans taught the Hawaiians everything about cattle. It became a food source for them. They learned how to be cowboys, you know, roping and herding and all of that. Let's have 2 rows. Gwen, come up front. Okay, so I will get some music here. Okay, and it was written by Kuana Torres Pahele. And I just really love dancing this song now because it really supports Mexico and what the Mexicans are going through. And oh, look, we have Shar from California who's also dancing, and Allison, so I'm gonna pin all of you. And oh, Lumi is learning this song also. If she wants to dance, fabulous. I'm gonna pin everybody here. So I'm gonna pin that. Okay, these beautiful, okay, and here they are. the flower of the land. They brought guitars from Spain to Hawaii for the people. The hula women dancing under the moonlight. My heart is stuck to this beloved woman. Here come the vaqueros on a boat. By order of the king, Kamehameha the third, the beautiful dancing women under the moonlight. My heart is tied to the beloved woman. Here come the vaqueros on a boat. By order of the king, Kamehameha was his name.
Ay, 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 mi amor, bailando entre la música de mi corazón. Tu amor es lo más lindo del mundo, hagamos el amor en la noche, bajo las estrellas.
The beautiful women
en un bonito traje de luna,
under the moonlight.
Una veiga por y corazón,
Is
tied
to the beloved woman,
mira mi amor bailando
dancing
entre la
to
música
the song
y no me
of the vaqueros. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. All right, we are going now. Let's see. Conjo, Robert Schwach. Thank you, ladies. All right. Robert Schwach, he has got a story. Yes, hold on. Let's undo pin. I'm trying to remove these other pins. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I removed them.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Robert. You are on.
Okay, this is from a novel in the late stages of progress. This is from near the opening of the book. The main character is a young sports journalist. He's embarking on a tour of minor league baseball clubs. He's on his way to the first stop on the tour, the fictional town of Madrid, Illinois. Light from the low sun brightened the cab of the car. He'd come out of the woods onto a sweep of undulating cornfields that better fit his idea of rural Illinois. His guidance beeped, signaling him to edge right onto a different road toward the Mississippi, on whose bluffs Madrid was perched. Only 14 miles were left for the more than 200 from Oshkosh. He was tired and hungry and keen to test the credit card his publisher had supplied for his expenses, and what he hoped would be a surprisingly good supper club, the kind Wisconsin was dotted with, outside his budget except for his life's few special occasions. Coming to the crest of a hill, he gunned the car, as much as anyone could gun a pre-owned Subaru. He managed a minor thrill from the bounce at the top, then a shock. Just past the crest, he came upon a farm tractor, half on the road, half on the gravel shoulder, moving at a fraction of the speed limit that he was exceeding. He swerved left to skirt the tractor, lucky for the absence of other traffic, but unlucky for a leftward curve just beyond the encounter. He couldn't crank the steering wheel fast enough in the opposite direction to keep the Subaru on the road. His right wheels spun onto the shoulder gravel as the sideways momentum pushed him over the edge of the roadside toward a wet swale. Fearing he might roll over, he surrendered to letting the car bounce straight down into the gully, landing at a forward angle, the front bumper nudging the tall grass like a grazing blue animal, wheels half sunk into the muck. Not even the four-wheel drive in low gear could budge him backward and out. 3 bars of phone service were enough to make a search for a tow. Garcia's Service and Recovery answered from Madrid on the second ring. He sent snapshots of the car and his map position. The guy said he could drag it out. "What's your name?" he asked. "Heath." "See you within 30, Heath." Heath puffed out relief, glad for the corporate plastic to complete the rescue. The angle of the car wasn't comfortable for lounging, so he got out, scrambled up to the shoulder, and leaned backward against the pole of a no passing sign to wait. It was a perfect day weather-wise, on the border of spring and summer, with the breeze of the former and the warmth of the latter. He looked across the landscape, fields fringed with forest, a couple of barns and farmhouses. He'd acclimated to this open country after a dozen years, having gone to college in Wisconsin, and started a newspaper there even smaller and more remote than his Daily Herald. Illinois had a different feel from Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, there were more evergreens, a frame for lakes and canoes and fishing. Here there were mainly oaks and maples in gentle sway, narrating the wind. More classic somehow, more Americana. Wisconsin was a travel brochure. Illinois was a history book. Heath spotted the white roof of the tow truck skimming a recessed road in the distance. He lifted his arms and waved like a stranded sailor flagging a plane. The truck was grimy and its lettering was chipped and faded, but it was without rust or holes, engine roaring, legit enough so far as Heath could tell. The rescuer made a U in the roadway, edged the back wheels of the truck over the lip of the shoulder, engaged the parking brake, and emerged to survey the situation. He was wearing a jersey of the Madrid Matadors, the ball club Heath had come to see. The shirt was faded similarly to the truck, with a team nickname in arched Spanish-style lettering straining across the stout man's chest. Red lettering edged with green and outlined with gold. The man was Spanish-style as well, long dark hair, brown complexion. Of Mexican stock, Heath guessed. Heath was a quarter Mexican himself, his mother's side. They'd lost his grandmother a couple of years before, and the sight of the man brought a pang of recognition and remembrance. Heath and his abuela had been mutual favorites, co-conspirators against the hyper-academia of Heath's parents. The tow operator gazed down at the sunken Subaru. "Shit, man, you drunk?" "No, but I'm considering it." "Let's get her out." So as it will turn out, he stranded in Madrid, Illinois a few days longer than he planned, and it's long enough for him to fall in love with one of the ball players on the club he's come to see. And that's the premise of the book.
Thank you, Robert. Wonderful book. All right, and now Allison. Allison Arinaga is going to be reading something. Allison, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. Let's pin you. Here you go. Allison is in Pittsburgh. She is writing. She has a PhD in chemistry also. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to say I'm not in Pittsburgh. Actually, it's Philadelphia. Yes, my name's Allison Arinaga. I'm one of the hula students. And today I wanted to read two poems that were inspired by my maternal grandmother, who was quite literally the greatest person that I've ever known. And since today is May Day, she really liked May, so I wanted to honor that. So my grandma was pretty much the sweetest, most stereotypical Irish old lady that you could imagine. And she was kind of obsessed with the Virgin Mary. And in the Catholic tradition, May is often when the May crowning takes place, which is a tradition where people make a flower crown and use it to adorn the Virgin Mary. And Mary is kind of celebrated during the month of May. So I'm going to read two poems. The first one is called Reason for the Green, and it's inspired by the many stories that my grandmother used to tell me about Ireland and the old country. So I hope you like it. Reason for the Green. I wear the green to remind me of the story of my birth. A fairy didn't slip me into the baby bassinet. A stork didn't drop me down a chimney stack. Not even my parents can claim full credit. No, I was born from a string of centuries, a cacophony of multi-generational cries, from war and blood spilled across the grass. I was born from the chime of a babe's first laugh and the scent of fresh-tilled earth, the tangible result of a people who fought time and time again for the right to be as much, so that someday, in another time, another place, I could grow up knowing where I came from. All right, that's the end. All right, and then I have one more short poem to read. This one is, I guess, half inspired by the actual bicycle that I used to ride to Northwestern every day. And then the other half is inspired by something my grandma used to say a lot, which was, sometimes you just need a little tightening up. And I don't know if I really ever completely understood what that meant, but I took it to mean that no matter how tough things get, if you just, buckle down and believe in yourself, you can accomplish things that you otherwise might not believe. So that's kind of the spirit that I interpreted, at least. So this one is called Bicycle Handle Bell. A broken bicycle bell knocks my hand. Its washed out jingle dying on the handle. It swallows me, that drowning chord, like calloused fingertips running down the comb, or my own voice when I can't find it, which is most of the time. But impact flips the bell, its plastic claws hugging too loosely. Not broken after all, just in need of a little tightening.
Thank you, Allison. Sky. All right. See? Let's get a chair here for you. And I'm going to change the camera. Okay. There she is. Thank you.
In the spirit of spontaneity today, I kind of overdid it, and
didn't print my poems, so I'm reading from my Substack. Oh, yeah. Oh.
You have it?
That's another poem. We'll see. This poem is very recent. I just wrote it last weekend. I was having a coffee with a friend at New Sound Cafe just down the street here on Lake Street. It's just a block or two away. It's a new coffee shop. You should go. And it was kind of a liminal day, and she was going on a guided shamanic journey that weekend, and I was inspired with a lot of longing to go with her on that journey. So instead I wrote a poem. It's called True Moment. I see in your eyes black pearls, fertile, racked horizon, ocean's wise shore. Beauty is a good luck mirror, cracked like a mind of strong fortune. A lala in the shamanic migration, biting me in two with twisted beak. One drop of blood, another firefly, falling into the red ring of creation. Where are you going? Can I go too? Bring me along. I'm light. You can fly. You can fly blind into thunder. Lightning is a possibility. I'm barely there at this volcano. No trouble, just light. I'll read just for out of reverence for the work I do as a librarian, working with the public, our community. This is an older poem, but it's about connection. It's called For Those Who Have No Home Except Here With Us. Landlocked seagulls wing the streets in Blue Island. Idealistic, we heave out the atlas to tutor each and every one. Lake Michigan is that away. Fly away, be gone already. Bon voyage. A blessing upon your coal-blackened beaks. Homer the outlaw would roast our hope on a spit. Librarians are his dark superstitions. Diplomats from the land of good intentions. Our director brought in a designer to match Homer's signature colors. Wood smoke and urine, tin can pillows in the tall grass, the give of rain. Homer has fits, prone to start shouting, I'm thirsty, and how lazy doth the busy bee. Oh, literacy, literacy, cloudy water under a bridge. He'd like to grab the hand sanitizer and be left alone in the bathroom. Benighted Boris turns him out, gentle, firm, quiet as a silo. Walter, on his way to glory, trips over that wrinkle in the carpet with his walker. Military decorations he ordered online, his mind wheeling. Dealing like John Wayne in a poker match. One chip left and he'll be down. But he's not there yet. The job center always failing. Sing heavenly muse, or at least make a sign. Walter might teach at the university, if only he could master the mighty Word program. Blank page and blinking cursor, goddamn flash drives. Trigonometry for dummies. The ignominious mutiny of Excel spreadsheets. The barking cough of the wars he slept through. Walter has seen every John Wayne movie on VHS tape. We used to be able to get more, but we fail him in that now, each of us personally. We are inadequate with our compact discs and DVD players. Impatient as dream snipers, refusing our cues in the amphitheater of Walter's glory. What a pity his Shakespearean elocution is of no worldly use, orating only to librarians, reciting poetry for little brown wrens, hopping on literacy breadcrumbs. He remembers our names, probably would take us out drinking, whoring like a sailor who has never seen the ocean. Sometimes it is hard to lock the doors and face that strong lake wind.
It is kind to hold Ms. Alvarez's hand across the street. She is just having a bad day, paranoid on account of the wind. She's not crazy, and her hand is a warm plum in mine. The street light on York and Western turns green. If we are lucky, we head off for a shining Greek salad with anchovies at DeMar's, to the cement banks of the Calumet River if we are not. Es un placer de servirle. The end. Fear not, we'll be open tomorrow, my friends.
Thank you, Sky. All right, and for the finale, we're going to show you some pictures of YPO Valley, and my cousin Shar has a poem. I'm going to share this screen. Hold on here. All right, share and hopefully, So here's the first picture. Whoa, let me see here. Here's the valley. Isn't that an amazing valley? On the big island, the Valley of Kings. That's where things used to live. Fabulous. And then there's another picture. Let's see. And here is down in the valley. Isn't that beautiful? There's a river in the valley. Yeah, we went down. My brother, my nephew drove us down in a 4-wheel drive. Oh my God, it was harrowing. It's a steep, very steep. Anyway, Shar has got a beautiful poem about the experience of being down there, and then we will end with a dance about the valley. All right. Okay, so I'm going to unshare now. Okay. And Shar, I'm going to pin you. Okay, there you go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the valley of YPO and the two waterfalls. YPO Pa Ea Ea. This is the preface. YPO Valley is named after the meandering and winding Wailoa stream as it moves towards the sea, the main water source in the valley, and is surrounded by spectacular steep cliffs and waterfalls. Waipio means curved water in Hawaiian. It is part of the watershed of Hamakua Waipio region and is enveloped by 3 waterfalls among multiple waterfalls that ribbon across the cliffs, including Hi'ilave Falls that drops 1,000 feet. There is a heavy Pacific surf along the Hamakua coast with an impassable reef at the fringe of the coast. There is limited access and limited inhabitants in the valley. The Waipio Valley is flat, alluvial, and lush vegetation drained by the Waipio Stream, which enters the ocean at the Black Sand Beach. And this is the poem. This is the wedding day of Paul and Loveland. Waipio Valley tempted us while we witnessed their wedding at Kukui Haele Point, overlooking the ever spectacular splinter of a gorge, expand into the deepest and full of wild wonder, Waipio Valley, where water is everything, everywhere. TJ expertly takes control. The 4-wheel drive navigates the extreme steep grade, slowly and carefully, and for what seems like a long time, gently down to the bottom, to the floor of the Waipio Valley, with precious family cargo, TJ, Sybil, June, Carol, Ray, Carl, Julie, Shar. We feel the rush, eternal, exuberant, exciting, existential, emotional energy. Dancing hula of Waipio Pa Ea Ea, images of waterfalls within Waipio Valley fill my soul and heart. The valley formed by streams and lava from Kohala volcano. Steep sheer cliffs rise up from both sides of the valley. Once upon a time, a long time ago, Hawaiian royalty, their ohana, thousands of Hawaiians living and working deep in Waipio Valley. 2,500 feet cliffs cradle this valley of the Hamakua coast, the Valley of the Kings, home of Hawaiian rule, a retreat, Hawaiian royalty in the Kohala Mountains. Waipio Valley from the 13th to the 17th century was a place where Hawaiian life flourishes richly. Waipio Valley densely populated, 4 to 20,000 ohana making home. Once the capital and permanent residence of the early Hawaiian ali'i until the 16th century when King Umi sought to unite the Hawaiian Islands. 4 to 10,000 Hawaiians in Waipio Valley before Captain Cook appeared in 1778, now lost to time. Waipio Valley, most fertile, most productive valley on Hawaii Island, as then, as now, as with the rest of the world in and of enlightenment. This is an out-of-body experience, an other-world-worthy waterfalls, wonderful waterfalls, deep in the back of the valley, born of and in between heaven and rain. The purest and greatest of all tumbles deep into the valley floor, a lush rush as such. Remembering the valley of the Hawaiian kings, waterfalls and streams, rivers that meet the ocean sea. Deep and wide is the lush verdant valley between the steep cliffs that stir my soul and spirit. I weep as I dance of the waterfalls, Hakalawa and Hi'ilave. Lalakea and the water spirit flows over my body's muscles. I wave my hula hands deep into the valley to the back where the waterfalls begin at the touch of heaven. The deep lushness of the valley floor borders the stream segueing through to the sea. The water spirit washes over me, refreshes me, energizes me. The water refreshes my soul's breath. I breathe in the cool, fresh moisture air as the waves lap the tip of the end of the river as it kisses the sea gently at Waipio Black Sand Beach. I walk onto the beach and wade into the Pacific and release myself to the sea, sky, sparkling space. My cousins around me, an ocean full of awe, the Pacific Sea at our feet, and the gentle flowing of the river into the sea. This mystical, magical water refreshes us, loves us, and the waves lap at our feet slowly, always moving. Way back deep in the waterfalls of the Waipio Valley, two powerful sources travel the valley, meet gently at land's end at the ocean's touch of wave. We wade while Waipio weeps waterfalls. We dance and rise up. We raise up the valley of Waipio to see springs. We playfully splash the waters back to the back of the valley. The water plays, pushes as streams and rivers flow out forward to the earth's end, the ocean's beach. We dance with the waters of Waipio, refreshing us all through and over our bodies, refreshing the land and the food. Sacred beauty surrounds us, up and down, delicately and fiercely. Kawainui stream is the main stream. Wailoa stream is the primary meandering waterway, flowing from the heart of the Waipio Valley from the junction of Waima and Waipio streams onto the black sand beaches at the land's end. The highness of the mountains of Waipio Valley, taking breaths of waterfall air. Water falling breathes life into all buds and blossoms and blooms. The place where water blossoms, the place where water is born from the living falling waters into streams as wide as rivers. The Lalakea stream leading, moving, flowing to the edge of the world, where the river streams deep and shallow over small and big rocks, pebbles and stones, rippling and bubbling, curving, flowing into around, and gently flows into the Pacific where heaven meets the sea. Cool streaming waters from deep in the back of the Waipio Valley meets the vast blue power of the Pacific Ocean. The land, the people are refreshed by the streams and sea. Vast and wild, full of awe, clean, fresh water falls, swift headwaters, water magic spirits refresh Waipio Valley, wild Waipio, curving, winding, meandering, Wailoa, long winding river as it moves to the sea. Thank you.
Okay, all right, so we are going to do our final dance, all right? I have to move this camera again. Okay, go. And I know, let's see, Shar, are you dancing too? Yeah, okay, good. And you're dancing too. Okay, I think that's 3 of us dancing. All right. Waipio Pa'ea, written by, again, Kuana Torres Kahele. He used to live down there. And he loved it.
Ai ai kanu pa o Waipio Ua ina vai E hanai mai ka honua I laila ho ia we I ke ai I nā vai mahana O hakalaua me I lawe Aloha, he aloha, ka ina o umi aloha, he aloha, waipi o kaya ea. Ai ai kanu pa o Waipio Ua ina vai E hanai mai ka honua I laila ho ia we I ke ai I nā vai mahana O hakalaua me I lawe Aloha, he aloha, ka aina o umi aloha, he aloha, waipi o paia ea. E kahe ana, ka hele ana, nā wai mai loha O wai makawai nui ko I ave me alakai E au mai ana I hala kea Ma e ele kuku kino rika mai onu onu Aloha, he aloha, ka aina o umi aloha, he aloha, waipi o paia ea. E kahe ana, ka hele ana, nā vai mai loa O wai makawai nui ko I ave me alakahi E au mai ana I hala kea Ma e ele kukino I kawai olu olu Aloha, he aloha, ka aina o umi aloha, he aloha, waipi o paia ea. He aloha, he aloha, ka aina o Aloha, waipi o paia ea.
Thank you so much for staying and joining us on this special evening of Indra's Net and Lay Day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lee and Ara
Thank you for hosting. It was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, June.
Thank you, Kumu June.
Aloha, ahuiho.
I love and admire my Kumu.
Thank you, Ara. Peter.
Hello.
Lumi.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Mark.
Thank you, Joshin.
Talk tomorrow, Joe.